a lot of work we do is in the issue navigation world, which obviously this lines up with a fair amount. But another piece of business that we are involved in quite often is mergers and acquisitions. I think, we see transparency, ratings and reviews online starting to make their way into other decision points within the healthcare system. So with all the M&A that we're seeing across the country, how are people's online perceptions of brands kind of making its way or having an impact in that world?
Sure. So we're seeing a number of our clients are obtaining reports that prospective acquisitions, because it's a part of their risk mitigation in terms of if we bring on this facility or we hire this provider, what are we going to have to deal with? And so there's some triggers that could be found in the reviews. Reports and them regularly reviewing those and making them a part. It may not be a deciding factor necessarily, but it's an input that helps them ask the right questions about a particular, if there was something in the review that was alarming, that they can go and do research and ask the right questions to get to the bottom of. To my knowledge, I think I can count on less than 5 times that I've heard of that, but it's definitely where it brought up something and there was concern around, whether they were purchasing a clinic or hiring a particular physician.
That's really interesting. I mean, we think about this as it relates to our kids, right? Of just like, online activity does not go away. Like you can't delete stuff off the internet. Like that's not a thing, right?
Right.
And we're starting to see more and more of that come back. And so I think it's really interesting that now that that's making its way into actual business decisions, not just customer service issues, if you will, right?
Right. Yeah. So from a patient experience standpoint, those patient experience professionals and of course marketing from a branding perspective, paying attention to reviews of their current properties and their current employees and their current physicians that are practicing. But then for the M&A folks, that they're looking and going, what are we going to be dealing with, and is it worth it? And there are so many different aspects that they're measuring to acquire. Is this going to be?
There are trends or there are things bubbling to the surface that maybe are validating something else that we found or not, and some of those types of things.
And so the same thing, they're looking at obviously patient satisfaction scores and where they're at, quality scores, if it's a large facility, all those things. But this viewpoint that are sometimes the patients themselves that are leaving reviews, but then also sometimes the caregivers of those patients, the family members, and what occurred. Some of those are becoming, there's something for us to consider. And so it is, we're seeing, not only in marketing, patient experience, looking at the reviews, but this M&A portion of the companies and even outside groups, even private and P&E groups, private equity, they're looking at some of this information as well.